Hi guys. I want to chat with you guys quickly about events and just kind of want to go over some things with you so you can know when you work with me as an event, the things that we need to do. And just a few things like a backstory I want to tell you guys. When I started working events, we didn't have hardly anything, but just a handful of things. So as time passed, we started building and growing, but I started working my events with my team members because we could all come in together and bring our things together, and it seems like we had so much more because we did it that way. Well, because we did it like that, as we started growing, it started to begin to be a little confusing. So I decided to, when we work events together, now we make it possible for everybody to bring the even amount of products. For example, whatever everybody pay, if the event is $1,000, how many participants you have, we'll divide that up by the number of participants, and you determine how much in dollar amount for everybody to bring, and everybody bring the equal amount of products. And also you try to balance it out so you won't have a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that and not enough of this and not enough of that. So what I have decided to do, because sometimes there's an issue with people having the money to pay events and also having the products for events. So I've got an upcoming event, and I'm going to go over a few things with you guys so you can kind of know how I do these. I call them my non-paid participants when they work with me at these events. One of the things that I don't require them to do is to help me set up. We always set up the day before the event. It's always me, my brother, my nephew, and sometimes my daughter. We'll set up. We do all that work. So you don't have to worry about that. You just walk right in the day of the event. This is what I do. And the day that the last day of the event, we also break down. So I don't require my team members to take part in breaking down as well. How it's going to benefit team members to be there. Because when I have my events, I buy all the products, I bring all the products, and I pay for the event. So my team members will not have to pay anything. But the benefit for them is to gain the contacts, book parties, book fundraising events, get other events, network, and did I say build their team? I don't know if I said that part, but that's the benefit of being there. It's kind of like face-to-face advertising because you're not having to pay any money to be there. So here are the things that I do. First off, okay, these are our order forms right here. And each one of our order forms, they come like there are 4 sheets to the order form. So I always separate these in 2s, okay? Because I try to save on that. I separate these in 2s, and I always want to make sure, these are the most important things to do, guys. When you're working in events, make sure, and I always do a check off, make sure you get that person's name, make sure you get that person's email, make sure you get that person's phone number. Those things right there. Now, sometimes people go ahead and put their full address on there, and always date it. Always date it. And the other thing you want to always do is put your name right here. Where it says consultant, put your name right there, because that's the only way that I will know that that is your customer. Because what happens, without that, I won't know it's your customer, and I end up keeping it. Then the next thing you do is come down here and write down what they're purchasing. Write down the quantity, write down what it is that they're buying, and you write the price over here. Now, we always charge sales tax. Like in Alabama, the sales tax is 10%. So you make sure you calculate the sales tax. After you get your total, you calculate your sales tax. We don't worry about the shipping part. Then you put the total. And then right here, you have the option to choose whether they pay cash or credit card. Make sure you check that, because when I do my tally at the very end, I need to know if they pay cash or credit card. We do not accept checks at all. Don't ever accept checks at events. Never. So only credit card and cash. I am going to start accepting Cash App and Venmo. I'm going to have one of those code things there. I think I'm going to start doing that. Okay, now you don't have to fill in their credit card information, because I have a device there where we'll run their credit card. So this part is not needed. So Another thing that I do, I get them to sign this. If they're paying credit card, I get them to sign this too. I know they're going to sign 2 times, but I just do for record keeping purposes. I do. So this is important. So if you're working at an event with me, after you write your name and you fill everything out, I always tell you to take a picture of it. Snap a picture of it, because that is going to be your copy, so that you can enter this customer's information in your workstation so they can get a newsletter every month. And you put that information in your Amy so you can make sure you follow up with that person. And the next thing is that I always keep the top copy. I want to keep the top copy because that's the most legible copy. I want to keep that top copy. The customer gets the second copy. Okay, I keep the top copy, they get the second copy. So that's like super important. And something else that I do at the events, I have one of these right here. This on the inside has hard catalog. This I know it's not the most recent one, but I just ordered. I'm waiting on them to come. So this is like hard. It's a hard catalog. So I keep this out so customers can look through it and see what they want, because eventually you're going to run out of the other catalogs. That costs money if you just handing those out. So I don't hand those out unless people are buying something. But now what I do hand out at my events, I hand out showcase brochures, and I hand out things like this. I hand these out. So be prepared to hand things out like this, because it doesn't cost as much. And something else too, I always make samples to hand out with my business cards. I always hand these out. Something else, guys, when you're working in events, you want to do all you can. When people approach you, stand up and have conversations with them. Don't just sit down and talk to them from a seat. Stand up and approach them. And what I do, a lot of times when people are at events, they're passing by, they're so overwhelmed with looking at so much stuff. So as they pass by, I'm going to speak to them. I'm going to have something in my hand. I'll say, how are you doing today? You're having fun today, or something like that. I'm going to have a conversation with them. So, by the way, have you heard of Cincy? I would love to share something with you. And I'll hand this out while I'm talking to them. I would love to share something with you. Have you heard of Cincy? And as they're having this in their hand and looking at it, and I get a chance to have a conversation with them. So that's what you want to do to break the ice. Some of them will say, no, I don't want it. That's okay. That's all right too. But some of them will keep it, and sometimes they'll say, okay, I'll be back. Now, if you're working an event with me and there are several other consultants there, because we want to make sure we're not stepping on toes, make sure you always ask people, have you talked to somebody already? Has somebody already given you something? Then this way you won't come behind the other consultant and pass out something to somebody that they've talked to already. Now, let's say that the person that you've given a sample to decide not to come by and buy anything. You may want to say something like this. You may want to say something like, well, you know what? Every month I do a drawing for my customers. I would love to enter you in my drawing. And the only thing I need from you to do this would be your cell phone number and your email to enter you in my monthly drawing. Or you could say something like this. I have a page on social media. I would love to connect with you so I can let you know about those specials that I have every month. Can we connect on social media? And you have your device right there. Go ahead and connect with them right there on the spot. Sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't, but that's okay. You wouldn't have lost anything. Now you will lose if you don't ask. It's always good to ask. So again, the biggest thing, guys, is to make sure, something else I always require my team members to do, don't bring a lot of stuff with you at the event, because we are limited on space. So if you bring in something like flyers, your samples or something like this, just bring it in a tote bag. Just bring a tote bag. Don't bring a rolling bag. If you bring a chair, make sure it's a small stool or a small folding chair or something like that, because we're limited on space. So we don't want that to just be in the way and we have problems moving around. So make sure you think about that as well. Bring snacks with you. Wear comfortable shoes, like maybe tennis shoes, I would say. Bring a jacket just in case it get cool inside, because sometimes it get cool. Make sure you bring water. Sometimes we get so busy until we don't get to leave for a break, because it's like so busy at some of these events. And be prepared to walk around and talk to other vendors and pass out your information. You never know what connections you will get just by talking to the other people who are working there. Now, there have been some events that I've worked, guys. Some of them not so good, and some of them have been outstanding. I remember one of my first events that I worked, and oh my goodness, when I think about it, the building looked like it was about to fall in. The area where they put me, I promise you, it's gross, but it looked like somebody was sick in the corner, and I saw the crap on the floor where they actually vomit on the floor. So I had to take my table and cover that area up to keep from looking at that. Yeah, it was terrible the whole entire time. And the whole time I was there, I sold 2 items, a room spray, I think a scent circle. And I was there like 6 hours. But the one thing that I got out of that was so outstanding is that I networked with the other vendors. And after networking with the other vendors, I was able to get one of my largest events from another vendor, because I always ask them, where are you going next? What's your next event? I would love to get to work that event with you if you have a contact person. And that's what happened, guys. At that terrible event that I worked, as gross as it was, and I didn't sell anything and was there all day, I did get one of my largest events just from networking with one of the other vendors. So sometimes sometimes you may not sell anything, but the benefit of working events, guys, is to be there and get all the contacts you can possibly get. That face-to-face advertising is so awesome. You get to connect with people in various ways. They get to touch and feel and smell while you're there. So that's the biggest advantage to being at the events. But if I ask you guys to work on an event with me, and don't worry about bringing anything but your samples, things that you're going to pass out, your catalogs, if somebody decides to book a party, or if they decide to bring join information. Another thing that I do, you can, as you're talking to people, I always offer, or the specials that I offer are the bar specials, the buy 5, get 1 free specials. But the other products, I label all of the products so it makes it easy for people to know how much it is. I even have these little wood chips inside the warmers, so they'll see what the price is as they're standing there, because if you get busy sometimes, it's hard to get back to the person to let them know how much it costs. So I try to make it easy, even for team members. I even have these little round little labels that I label the box and put the price on the boxes, because it's not easy to remember the price of everything, especially some things that are not in the catalog, like the LTOs or products from the previous catalog. It's kind of hard to remember that. So it's good to go ahead and have those already set up, so you can just get right on in there and move the products. So I think that's all I have. You guys have any questions, let me know. But I'm just so excited to get back into working events. Yes, I'm super excited. So I just wanted to share this. I'm going to tag you guys who are going to work with me next month in the upcoming event. Take care, guys. Happy Sunday. Love you. Bye.